Okay, good evening. Today we will continue our lessons with analog functions and pulse width modulation techniques. If you can hear me properly, please comment on the chat. Can you hear me properly? Okay, thank you very much. So last week we discussed about blinking an LED on and off, and we came across a problem that we cannot adjust the brightness. Right? I think you may all remember last week lessons, and I need to you to remember our for loops for today's lesson. We are going to use the for loops a lot today. So today we are trying to adjust the brightness of an LED. In the last few weeks, we discussed how to turn on an LED and turn off an LED. Right? That goes to all the outputs, right? I mean, when you want to adjust the speed of a motor, you are going to need this pulse width modulation techniques because in our digital write and digital write techniques, digital high and digital low techniques, we can only turn on and off an output, and maybe it may be a motor, it may be a LED bulb, it may be some other incandescent lamp or other thing. You cannot just adjust the brightness of a bulb, or you cannot adjust the speed of a motor with digital write. So you are going to need a separate technique to address the speed digestion issue, right? So that is where we come across the pulse width modulation techniques. Shortly, we call that PWM. So uh, I think you can remember that in the last few weeks we blinked an LED. So when we go into blinking really fast, we see that the brightness drops to a certain level. That is the exact technique we use here. There is a function in the Arduino that is going to do that for us, so we don't have to worry about the timing and everything. So when we are going to tell it a brightness level, and it is going to do that. That goes into motors too. We are not going to drive motors today, but even for the motors and even for other big bulbs, we are going to adjust the brightness at the same with the same technique. So this is not the only technique there is to adjust the brightness of a bulb. There are other things like zero crossing circuits and stuff, but that is an advanced lesson. So in this level, we are going to cover just analog right function and the pulse width modulation techniques. So let's try to understand what this is. So there become a special term named duty cycle, right? So a duty cycle, so this duty cycle is simply the percentage. Sorry for the background noise. Is the ratio of the on time and the off time. So if I take a graph like this, so let's say this is 1 and this is 0. So when you say digital write high, obviously this is high. When you address digital write high, the signal is going to be like this. Let's say maybe for 1 second, right? So when you want it to low, you call digital low, and it is here. Then it is here. So like that. Now the LED is blinking. Here the LED is on. Here the LED is off. Once again, here the LED is on, right? So this time period where the LED is on, we call this the on time. This time period where the LED is off, we call it the off time. I think that is clear enough. So the ratio between this on and off time, that is what we call the duty cycle, right? So don't stress about that a lot because we don't need that knowledge right now. Just there is the name. So anyway, uh, sorry, is someone trying to say something? All right. So in the Arduino, we are given a level of these duty cycles. It is not exactly the duty cycle. So anyhow, let's say the brightness. So when we take a LED lamp like this is the LED like fully on, right? The LED is fully on. This is the LED is off. Let's now this is like 100% on, right? like this. This is 100% on, that this is 100% off. Now this is digital high and this is digital low. What we are trying to achieve is the brightness levels in between these 2 points, right? So here in this technique, we are going to use a special function called analog write, not digital write, but analog write. In analog write, when we write that analog write, capital W of course, we are going to need two arguments, right? The first one is the pin, let's say the 9th pin, and the other one is the PWM level here, right? In the Arduino, we can use the PWM level from 0 to 255, 255, right? 0 being the off and 255, 255 being the fully on state. So if we are going to like 125, that is 50% bright. I think everyone understands that, right? See, like this. So that is about that. So we will try to do a practical so you get a clear understanding. So this is how the duty cycle works. I will show you with the oscilloscope so you understand this really better. So this is the actual math behind this thing. See, turn on time. This is the fraction of the turn on and turn off time. So we can, the formula is like on time and the time period, like on and off times, right? The time period. So this is that is the formula for duty cycle. You are not going to need that. So anyway, take this idea only, that is just enough for you. We can take an LED. Yes, 255. I'm going to explain that. No, no, no. It's not microvolt. It is just a level. So I can go into analog and digital converters and stuff and resolutions of bits, but that is really complicated. So just think about this like this. So like we talk about percentages, we say like this is 0% bright, right? It is 0% bright means it is off, right? We don't see an LED turned on, so it is off. So and when the LED is turned on like fully, we call it 100% turned on, right? Like that, the Arduino says 0 to 255. This is not millivolts. This is not any other thing. This actually comes from bits and bytes from the ADC, but that is a bit advanced, so I am not going to talk about that. That comes from the microcontroller resolutions and stuff. That is a lesson for another day. We will do that later on. So this is an LED turned off. This is LED fully on. When the LED is like turned off, we call it 0. When the LED is turned fully on, we call that 255, like 255. I will do the practical so you understand that really clearly. In fact, let's do that right now so you get the idea. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Now this is the setup from last week. I am going to remove these LEDs. And take only two. I'm going to plug one end into the ground and the other into ninth pin. Ninth pin because I'm going to explain that later. So there we are. Ninth pin, right? So now let's write some code. Okay, now let's do this. So I'm on pin 9. I want this to be an output, right? Just like we did digital, right? Now we are going to, now in fact, let's do digital, right? Now please pay close attention. From here on we are going to need these things a lot, so make sure you play very close attention and do ask questions, please. And now I'm going to upload this. The word is okay. Let's try uploading. Okay, the LED is turned on. We turn it this way. It's like too bright. It's still too bright, but sorry about that. It's a bit too bright, but yeah, we have to deal with that anyway. So yeah, yeah, it's a bit too bright anyway. So this is high, and once I say low, it is going to turn off. I think that is clear enough for all of you right now. See, now it's turned off. When I say high, it's going to turn on. Now if I introduce a delay in between, let's say 10 milliseconds, and I'm going to turn that off for even more, say 100. Now what will happen? See, it is blinking. Now we can adjust this time, and there is a point that we cannot see it's blinking. Still we can see. Let's reduce this. I cannot go beyond this. See, I can, yeah, maybe you can see that the brightness is dropped a little bit, but still we look really closely, we can observe it's blinking, right? So if I comment out all these things and upload this again, now none of this works. See, the brightness is a bit higher. So that is the exact technique. We are going to on and off the LED really fast. So it is going to look like it is dimming, right? So now this is the analog bright function. First the pin number, we are on the 9th pin, and if I say 0, this is, remember, so this is like 0 is the, yes, the delay is given in milliseconds. So in the analog write function, the first pin, the 9 is the pin number, and 0 is the what? The brightness level, or the, what we call that, the PWM level, right? So if I upload this right now, now this represents like 0% brightness. Now what will happen to the LED? Anyone? Will the LED be turned on or turned off? Actually, let me name the LED and reduce this confusion. Right now I can say LED everywhere. Good. Okay. Now let's see, let's upload this and see what will happen to the LED. See, it's turned off, right? Now I want to, like, if I type in 255, 255, it's going to be turned on like 100%. See, it is like really bright. If I say, let's say 64, take note of the brightness. See, it is dimming. If I say like 10, it is going to be even dimmed. See, it is dimming. Now, actually, to show you that this is adjusting the brightness, I am going to write a little bit of code above with the for loop and show you that it is actually dimming. So we are going to write this code eventually, so don't worry about that. We go from 0 to sorry 255. We want to go by we want to go one by one. So this so I have already made a mistake. Can anyone notice that there is a mistake about the pins? I am going to discuss later. So yeah, yeah, the semicolon. So I am going to put I here. So the I is going to take all the values from 0 to 255 and it's going to update that. So I'm going to introduce a little bit of delay here, like 10, yeah, let's do 10 milliseconds. And yeah, that should be enough. Let's try to upload this code. Okay, there is a here is a column. Now let's say, can you see the brightness is adjusting? So to improve this code, we can actually, now we are increasing the brightness, we can even decrease the brightness. We are just telling all these things. We are going to invent the code, right? Yeah, that's it. And let's see, now it is going fully bright and then it is going dimming, right? I think you can note that. Yes, of course, we can write a function to increase the brightness and reduce the brightness. That is exactly what I have done here, right? In a for loop, that is the beauty of the for loop. What the values that is assigned to the I or the variable in the beginning of the for loop is we can use those inside the brackets of the for loop. All right, about analog write and digital write. So anyhow, now you can see that with analog write we can adjust the brightness. So let's actually go to the presentation and talk about that. All right. So with analog write, sorry, digital write. So with digital write, I am going to say DW. So AW. You can have on and off, right? But with analog write, you can have these two. One is like 0, off, sorry, one is like 255, off is like 0, and you can have the values in between. So it can adjust the brightness. Now let me explain that once again. This is really, really important that you get this idea nicely. So this is 0%, this is 100%. 100%, I mean like it is turned on fully, right? On and off. So this is the digital write thing. If we are going to discuss this in analog write, so this is 0 and this is 255. In the digital write function, we can either turn off the LED or turn on the LED. We cannot have a medium brightness level here or here, anywhere we cannot have that. But with analog write, if we say 0, that is off. If we say 255, that is fully on. And if we say like 100, that is in between here. So we have control over the brightness of the LED. In terms of an LED, that is brightness. In terms of a motor, that is the speed. This is exactly how we control the speed of a motor and the brightness of an LED. So about this on and off times, I will show you a working example. Right? Any more questions? If you do have questions, please do ask.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
In digital write, is the signal given A digital signal.
No, actually, these both of these things are analog signals. The Arduino can only output digital signals. It is just ones and zeros. We are just turning on and off the LED really fast, so it looks like it's dimming. I will show you with the oscilloscope. Actually, let's do that right now. Okay. Um, so let me introduce you to this thing. All right. So the device you are seeing on the camera, can everyone see that? Can you see this? Okay. So this is called a DSO or digital storage oscilloscope. This is used to visualize the signals in a circuit, right? So here we have the time and here we represent the voltages. It looks complicated, but it is just a fancy multimeter, so don't worry about that. Anyhow, we can visualize the signals we see here. So I will demonstrate a little bit. So I think you can see there are little squares like grids here. From here to here there is a grid. So one grid equals to 5 volts here. And I think you can see that here beyond the channel one, the yellow one. So one thing up there, that means like 1 volt, right? So 5 volts. So from here to here we have 5 volts. So if we go here, that is like 10 volts. Okay, and we can actually change that. Let me change that actually. No, that's good enough. So anyhow, so with this thing we can see how the stuff work, right? Let me show you that. All right, back to the circuit. Now let's do this practical right now, so you understand this really better. So here is the code we wrote before. I'm going to delete that. Now let's think about this as a simple blink sketch, right? Let's say we want to turn on the LED and turn off the LED. Let's say we had the delay of 500 milliseconds and like this. Okay. Now if we upload this, we are going to see the LED blinking, right? Now the LED is blinking. So remember, when the LED blinks, when we say digital write high, it is going to give us 5 volts. When we say low, it is going to give us 0 volts. So actually with that device I showed you earlier, we can actually see if that is the case. So to check that, we have to connect that to the circuit. Here I am going to connect it, one here and the other pin here, right? So let's see if that is true. So you, can you see that it is going up and down? It is going exactly 5 volts up and down. So if I reduce the time base a little bit, give it some time. See, so this is the graph you can see. So this is this is the blink thing, right? So the on time is like 500 milliseconds, so you can actually measure that, and the off time is 750 by the looks of it. Yes, looks like that. This is we are on like 500 milliseconds, so this takes up like an entire square, so that is 500 and 750. And by further adjusting this, we can see how it is going to work. So if now if we are going to use the analog write function, the voltage level high low, that is the same thing, but we are adjusting the delay really fast, so it looks like it's dimming. The name analog does not mean that we are giving it an analog signal. We are giving it a digital signal, but it looks like it is dimming. Actually, to dim something we need to give an analog signal, but here in the Arduino we cannot do that. So instead, that is what we do, we dim that, we on and off that really fast, so it is going to look like it is dimming. The name analog does not mean that it is an analog signal. It is a digital signal as always, but it looks like an analog signal, right? Let's try that. Right. Uh, Analog, right? LED, let's say 255. Now this means the LED is turned on fully, right? See, the LED is turned on fully. Now if we inspect that waveform with the oscilloscope, we are going to see that it stays high all the time. The waveform does not look nice as before, but see, we add the 5 volts thing. Now I'm going to change the code a little bit here. Let's say I want to add 64. Now that does not come down, right? Okay, it's uploading. Right, sorry again. Let me adjust that a little bit and show you a clear waveform. Sorry, I have turned off the screen. Let's zoom in a little bit. See, I think you can see the on and off time thing I told you before. So now we are at 64. Now let's change that to 255, and you can see it is still a digital signal. Still we have the 5 volt and the 0 volt thing. See, this is high and this is low. But if I change this to 255, look what happens. Now it's uploading. See, that is totally on. It is completely high. And if I say it is 0, it is going to go to 0. So now here is 0. See, now it is 0. If I say like 10, see what happens. See, we have a little bit of an on time. Actually, I can zoom on that and show you. See, we have a very little on time and the rest is off. If I say 100, that on time is going to be a little bit bigger. See, it is a bit bigger, and if I say, let's say 200, and it is almost on, but there must be a little bit of off time, right? See, we have a little bit of off. So the idea is, this is still a digital signal. We still have highs and lows. This is not an analog signal, but this looks like an analog signal, and the LEDs looks like dimming because we are switching it on and off really fast, right? That is the idea. So you have to understand this perfectly. Actually, you do not have to understand these waveforms and all this stuff, because this is just extra, and eventually you don't even get to see these things. I just showed this because I have the equipment in my hand. Other than that, if you can dim the LED and if you understand the concept of the analog light function, that is enough. The function, the understanding you should have is, when you put 0 here, you are going to get a 0 brightness. That means the LED is off. And if we are going to put like 255, 255, that is fully on. And if you are going to give like a medium value like 64 or something like that, that is going to give you medium brightness, right? That is the basic idea. And I will show you that for loop code we wrote before. This looks nice, so I want to show you that. So see how the brightness is adjusting now. Can you see this? I think you can, right? I will zoom on a little bit. Yeah. So this is how the brightness is adjusting. This is what is happening actually inside the circuit. So when it goes here, now the LED is fully on. Now the LED is dimming off. Brightness and high. Now it's going off. Default pulse width. There isn't default pulse width. Actually, that is defined with the analog write function. You can manually write it, but that is a bit complicated. Right. So that's it with the analog write function. I think you understood that really clearly. If you have any other problems, please do ask. So the basic idea you should have, I'm going to say that once again, right? Let's talk about that anyway. So it's much better here. So if we are having an LED, the LED is fully on here, the LED is turned off here. In the analog write function, we write 255 to fully turn on an LED, 0 to turn off an LED, right? So this is the basic idea. With digital, you can say low or high. you cannot achieve a medium brightness. That is either low or either high. That is either off or either on. So if you want to achieve a medium level brightness or to adjust the brightness like we did before, you have to use analog bright. With analog bright, you can achieve brightness levels from 0 to 255, right? So tell me what will happen if you type like 1000 here instead of 255. What would happen if you type 1000? Anyone? Just guess. That is fine. Anyone? No. Yeah. Let's actually try that anyway. So when you think that what would happen, don't be afraid to type that and check what would happen. Just in case, let's try that. So I will do that for you. Let me share the screen. Anyway, okay, good. So here we have 0. Let's say 0, the LED is off. 255, the LED is turned on. So actually 1000 is not equal to 255, but I get the idea. So let's say if we are saying 100, that is medium level brightness. See, to demonstrate that even better, let's say 50. So if I type in 1000, that is actually not going to do anything. See, that is the exact brightness. You can go with 255 because that comes from the internals of Arduino. So doesn't matter which value you type in, more than 255, that's it. You are going to get the brightness level of 250. That is fully on. So right, other than fully on, there isn't a level you can go. So 255, that's it. You can type 1000, 2000, anything. It is not going to get more brighter. Okay, so now we know what analog write is and what digital write is. So now the other problem is you cannot use this analog write function in all the pins. Yeah, there is a question about the same thing. In fact, with an Arduino, you can see that there is a little mark, like a little curly mark, like here, right? That mark is in front of 11, 10, 9, 6, 5, and 3. Yes, 3, 3, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11. Those are the analog write function enabled pins. Those are the PWM capable pins, right? In the other pins, you cannot do this thing. You cannot use analog write function in the other pins. Actually, we can even try that. Now I am on pin 8. So let's try it. Digital write on pin 8. Digital write. Oh, sorry. I have to put pin 8 here. See, it is working. And if I say analog write, let's say 0. Turned off. 255, it might turn on, sometimes it won't. Depends on the firmware version. So it has turned on. Yeah, you can see that. But what if I use a medium level brightness? It is not going to do anything. If I write this code here, let's see if it is going to adjust the brightness accordingly. Yeah, turned on is not dimming, turned off, turned on and turned off. That's it, right? And if you want, we can see the with the oscilloscope. Let's say, all right. So with analog right, now that we know it, there comes another important function with it. That is the map function, right? It is really important. Can we read PWM signals with the Arduino board not using PWM pins? There is a way to read those with interrupt pins. Yes, there is a way. Yeah, you can read that. Yeah. Sorry about that. Okay, let's talk about the.
Excuse me.
Yes.
So what if we give a higher number to digital, right? Like 2 or 3?
So in the digital write functions usually accept high and low, 0 or 1. If you are going to give bigger values, that is not going to do anything. Sometimes it won't turn on if you give a value bigger than 1, but that is like really unreliable. So don't do that. Yes, there is one having with a problem upload into the board. Most of the time there is a problem with your USB cable or USB driver, so you have to check that. Or sometimes that can be a damaged board. If you have connected any LEDs, try removing them and try again. So most of the time it is a USB cable or the USB driver. So let's talk about the map function. Right. So now this is also really important. So I need you to pay really close attention, right? So I will take an example here. Usually I'm taking this same example to explain this. Let's say we have a water tank and it holds like 700 liters, right? So if the water tank is like full, let's pretend this is full. We say it is 100%, right? If the water tank is empty, we say 0%. Now we have two states, the water tank being 0% and the water tank being topped up like 100%. So here we have 0 liters and here we have 700 liters, right? Now if someone says the water tank is like 50% full, we know that it has how many liters? You have to talk with me. Yes, 350 liters. See now, we are mapping this thing to liters, right? So we have a better understanding. Now we don't have to deal with liters. So we can talk in percentages because it makes more sense, right? So let's say you are going to explain that you have only 350 liters left in the water tank, so use water really carefully. And now that is not going to make any sense to a stranger, right? But if you are going to say the water tank is like at 50%, use water carefully, that is going to make more sense, right? So that is the exact idea, right? We are mapping these percentages to liters. So when we have a fully topped up water tank, we say it's 100%. So we know that it holds 700 liters, and if we are at like 0%, we know that it holds 0 liters. And if we are at 50%, automatically we know that we have 350 liters. That is the case for all the other values, right? So that is the exact case with map function. The map function is going to like take like 3 arguments and it is going to map that value, right? So let's take a look at the map function. We have a value which we are going to map, right? In the water tank case, that is 350. Now we have our range of the range from low to high. and the value we want it to be mapped to, right? So let's do this with an example so you understand that really clearly. Let me share the screen and let's do an example right away so you understand that. Now this is also a very important function, right? You are going to say map. Um, yeah, actually let me do. So we are going to make a variable named value and we are going to assign. Let's make this like the PWA value. Let's make it PW. Let's name this like brightness. See, brightness, and yeah. Now we have a value. Then we have the two values, and the value we need it to be mapped, right? Now let me tell you which each one of these is going to do, and we are going to write this value into our LED. Analog write LED. We are going to use the number 9 pin again because see. All right. Now, when you say 50, we are talking about the percentages, right? Now, this is the lowest that the percentage can go. This is the highest that the percentage can go, and this is the lowest that the PWM value can go, and this is the highest that the PWM value can go. Now, you have to understand this. This section is for the PWM. This section is for the percentages. This is the value of the percentage we are going to tell. Now if we want a 50% of percentage, we can type in 50 and it's going to give us a brightness of 50%, right? If we do not have this function, if we do not have this, we have to make that map by ourselves, right? Let's do that. Let's say we want a brightness of 50. We have to divide 255 by 2 and type in that, right? It's like 6. Type in that. So this is the exact same thing, but we have to, for a 50% value, we have to divide that and get that math right? But if you are going to use the map function, we don't need to do that. We can just say 50% brightness and it is going to do that for us, right? So that is the case for from 0 to 100. You can do even 0 to 1000, and now to get a 50% brightness, you have to type in 500. If you say 50, it's going to like, it's not going to do anything. So it is like really low in brightness. So if I say 500, now that is going to be like 50% bright. See, yeah. I think you get the idea. You have to do practicals for this thing definitely. The map function is a bit hard to understand. We are mapping these percentages to the PWM value, right? So we say we need to map from 0 to 100 to 0 to 255. When we say 0, it is 0. When we say 100, we imply actually we want 255. So the values in between are divided accordingly. I think you get the idea. Let's,
Excellent.
yes,
So if we give 125 for instead of 255, then when we give 50 as the first number, it will be giving out half the value of 125. No?
yes, exactly.
Yes, thank you.
Exactly. So this is the range you want to be. So if you are going to use the full range of PWM, you have to use 0 to 255, like she said. If you are going to use like 125 and type in 50, it is going to give 50% of the of this range, right? So let's talk about that a little bit more theoretically. Okay, so once again, here is a LED. We had 0%, we had 100%, right? This is 0 PWM, this is 255 PWM. So for the values in between, you can do the math and get the PWM value accordingly, or you can use the map function and talk that about in a more sensible manner. That is the main use of the PWM function, sorry, the map function. So I will jump a little bit ahead and tell you another advantage of this. So right now we are just outputting values from the Arduino, see, analog write and digital write. In the future, like in the next week, next couple of weeks, we are going to read values from the outside world to the Arduino. So the most popular and the most useful way is the analog read. The analog read, we have values from 0 to 1023, right? Just like PWM, this is coming from the ADC, analog to digital converter inside the Arduino. So don't think about this value where did it come from or like that. Anyway, 0 means 0, 1023 means the full range. So let's take a potentiometer, that is a little device you can turn. I will show you in the next couple of weeks. So that's like this. So there is a thing you can turn. This is actually a graphical representation of the actual device. So here 0, here you have 1023, right? When you turn it here, that is 1023. Actually, this gives us a resistance. Here 0 ohm, here maybe 10 kilo ohms, right? But we are talking about this value. So if we are going to map these values to a LED, we have to use the map function. So the map function is like this: analog read, let's say the potentiometer, we call the pot value, right? We are getting values from 0 to 1023 and map that to 0 to 255. So when we are here, the LED is at PWM 0, it is turned off. When we are here, the LED is at 255, it's like fully turned on. That is the case with some motors too. There is a special motor called the servo motor. A servo motor we can turn in terms of degrees, right? So with that thing we can actually define degrees to turn. So yeah, for that too we are going to need the map function. So I think you have Arduino boards at home. Please try these examples at home. There are a whole set of examples all over the website and even in the Arduino example folder. Try them and make sure you understand these things. If you are going to survive Arduino and coding things, and if this is a really Arduino is a really good start to go into electronics and programming, right? Even from the first day, you are going to get introduced to simple electronics like resistance calculations, currents, and stuff like that. Ohm's law, V equals IR, stuff like that. And now these coding styles and these coding things, they are used all over in most of the languages. So if we are going to talk about languages, this is actually hard. This is a variant of the language called C, and usually C is hard, right? If we are going to learn more advanced languages in the future, like Python or stuff like that, Java and like that, they are actually a bit easy than this. This is the hard thing. So if we are going to understand this clearly, that is a really good investment for your future. So try to understand these things. I know this is like complicated sometimes and stuff like that, but you have to understand this. Put your time into this. It's a really good investment into your future. So once you master these things, it is like a really good investment, right? So you are going to understand your future things really easily. So make sure you are going to Do take your time and do the examples. So let's go into questions. Yes, pin 3, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11. Those are PWM pins. Yes. Yes, mapping from any value to any value is possible. Yeah, that is really possible. Not a problem. Yeah, you are going to use 100, then from 50 to 150. Yeah, yeah, that's possible. Right. Any other questions? Anyone? If you do have questions, please do ask. All right, I'm glad you understood. So usually when I do workshops, I want all the guys to understand the for loop and the map functions really, really precisely, because that is for mapping. Can we put any digit? Yes, you can put any digit, but if you are going to use PWM, that has to be 0 to 255 to use the full range. Yes, usually you can, yeah. So with analog write, on and off means 0 means off and 255 means on. So usually type in like low for analog write. Sometimes it is going to work depending on the firmware versions, but that is highly unreliable and sorry, not practical. So don't do that. What is the device you showed? Yeah, that is called the digital storage oscilloscope. Sorry, the price. I don't actually remember the price. It's like pretty expensive. And of course, you are going to need. You are not going to need one of those things. So don't bother to buy one of those things. Yeah. If you have a multimeter, that is enough. Most of the time, for Arduino stuff, you don't even need that. So yeah, just Arduino breadboards, LEDs, and stuff. That is enough for you. Is it only to 0 to 100? Can't we use it from 100 to 0? Yes, you can, not a problem. Actually, let me explain that. It's a good question. Let's say like this. It is a good question. Thank you. Now this drawing is getting really, really boring, but anyway, we have to do that. 0%, 100%. Now what he asked is, so we wrote the map function like this now. Map value here, we want to be mapped, right? 0 to 100, 200 and sorry, 0 to 255. Sorry about this crappy handwrite. So anyway, um, let me change the color. This is the values for percentages, and this is the value for, are you seeing this? Yes. This is the value for the PWM. So when you are going to say 0, that is actually 0. When you say 100, that is 255. So no big deal. When you say 0, it is turned off. When you say 100%, that is 255, that means it is fully on. What happens when you change those things? So let's say, what would happen if you interchange these values? Like, sorry, let's erase that a little bit more. What happens if you write this like this way? So it works, but gets a bit complicated. So actually, sometimes this might come in handy. You might want to use this. So here, when we say 100, it is going to turn off. When we say 0, it is going to turn on. Actually, let's do that practical and see. So here we are. We want to change this. Yeah, you seen this? Yeah, I'm going to other questions after this. This is a really, really good question. Okay. 100 and 0. So when I say 100, it should go to 0. When I say 0, it should go to 255. Say, let's say 0. Anyhow, let's say 0. So previously when we said 0, see, it is going to turn on, but I said 0. So let me undo that. Now this is the code. This is the code that as it should be. So now when I say 0, it should be 0. It should be turned off, right? But if I interchange these values, yeah, I did something wrong. No. So if I interchange these values, that is going to change. See, now it's going to turn on. Now if I type in 100, yeah, that is going to turn off. So that is the idea, right? I think you get that. Any other questions? Let's see. Oh, we need to pray. I'm really sorry, but anyhow, we are going to stop in a little bit. Yes. Yeah, the assignment for this week might be posted on your LMS. To increase the analog outputs, yes, there are ways to increase analog outputs. In fact, we are going to discuss them in the future. To increase the digital outputs, there is a method called shift registering. You might have heard about that already, but yeah, we cannot do that right now. But there is a way to increase the digital outs, and even to increase the analog outs, there is a way. Yeah, there are like separate integrated circuits we call ICs or chips. There are techniques to increase the outputs. Yes. Any more questions? And please try to do these things at home. I'm not going to explain how this is going to work in this week. In the next week, we will go like we did today. We will go to the last week and remember the stuff we did today, and hopefully do the practicals and stuff like that. So I think some of our students has to pray. So that's it for today. Yeah, there are some things that I didn't go through today because I'm sorry about that. If I go into much detail, this is going to get really boring. So yeah, we will do like that. I think this is enough stuff for today. So make sure you understand the for loop and the map function really precisely. That is really, really important. Make sure you do that, and we will discuss about more of these things in the next week. So if you do have any more suggestions about what we should do and what we should do more, or if we are going too fast, or if you don't understand the stuff, please post on the Telegram group. We will take those into account and compensate accordingly. So please do that too. Keep that in mind. And yes, so have a nice week. Stay safe. Good night, everyone. Make sure you study and remember all this stuff by the next week, right? Okay, good night.